The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond, you're listening to the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders.
Our guest tonight has been wrestling for almost 15 years, having started at the age of 17. You may be familiar with some of his work as he's appeared on WWE programming on several occasions. Most recently, he competed as Nick Nardone at a SmackDown taping where he faced Paul Heyman guy, the big, bad, beautiful Ryback. That's not my words. That's exactly how Paul Heyman describes Ryback. He holds the record for the most OVW television championship reigns with number 8. He's the current and longest reigning Ohio Valley Wrestling heavyweight champion that's been making headlines since issuing a challenge to a 1996 Olympic gold medalist and recently inducted TNA Wrestling Hall of Famer Kurt Angle to face him one-on-one. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that and just all things wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very proud and very humbled to welcome onto the show at this time the one and only Jamin Olivencia. Jamin, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Lee, what's going on, man? You know, I got to first start off this interview and just say that you are coming close. You're doing a great job, but you're coming close to getting my name perfect. Now, you know, for those who don't know me, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself and say hello to the world. My name is Jamin Olivencia, and I am the hottest star right now.
Hey, I'm not going to dispute that. I've been doing as much homework as possible. I'm a big fan of yours. I actually remembered your match with Ryback, and I actually said, who is this guy? And I've been a fan of you since. So trust me, if you haven't got hip to this guy, he's the man. Let me say that.
well, thanks, Lee. Thanks, I appreciate it, man. You know the way it works, man. Just like anything in life, is if you work hard, things will start manifesting. You'll start seeing things, and right now, that's what's happening with Jamin Olivencia. You're not only getting Jamin Olivencia right now, but you are getting the full feeling of Jamin Olivencia. You're getting the presence of Jamin Olivencia, and that's why I'm here on this show tonight, because we are going to go ahead and we're going to have a good time. And we're going to take this show to heights it hasn't been before. So what do you say, Lee?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it. And before we even dive all into it, I want to say I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to chat with us. This is a true story, folks. For those of you that may not know, especially you newer listeners, we're making our way to our 300th episode in a couple of weeks, and we've never had the opportunity to speak with a current champion from a promotion, so we're making a little bit of history here tonight, and we want to thank you so much for helping us create this opportunity.
Honestly, thanks for having me, and it's always a pleasure. It's always fun to be a part of these things and really just get to communicate. You know, it's like these days, everything's communication, you know. People have to get to know you, and what a perfect opportunity right now to do that. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm grateful.
All right. Well, hey, let's do it. I've got to ask you off the break as we were setting it up there, what is going on with you and Kurt Angle? Now, for those of you that may be under a rock, you don't know what we're talking about, let's get you caught up to speed very quickly. Jamin, you shot a video a couple of weeks ago challenging the second inductee into this year's TNA Hall of Fame, Mr. Kurt Angle. I saw this video. I said, interesting. And now I would like for you to tell the folks what led you to issuing this challenge to Kurt Angle. Was this a decision that was pretty easy for you to make overnight, or did a lot of time get put into your selection of Kurt?
Well, you know, Lee, and I said this in the video, I'm going to say it right now, I will go ahead and say on record once again that I do respect Kurt Angle. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He's a double Triple Crown champion. I mean, everywhere Kurt Angle has gone, he has won. So, you know, you got to take a guy like him at his level. You got to consider him to be the best. Because he is the best. He's the best ever, regardless of what anybody wants to say. Kurt Angle right now is at the top of the mountain, and he's always been there. And right now, where I come into play is Jamin Olivencia is at the top of the mountain, too. Jamin Olivencia right now is the hottest star that's a free agent out there. And what better way to make my impact, what better way to put my mark in the wrestling world to start off with beating Kurt Angle. And here's the truth, Lee. You know, you put me in a situation against Kurt Angle, I'm going to beat him, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Okay. I can respect that. Okay. Now, I can't help but when I hear the name Kurt Angle, and I'm sure many hardcore fans are probably going, Kurt Angle, let's make sure we set this up now. Kurt Angle, 2-time NCAA Division champion, 4-time WWE champion, 5th Grand Slam champion in the company's history, 5-time TNA World Heavyweight champion. You think about some of the greatest Kurt Angle matches of all time, Jamin. I mean, for me, Angle versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 19. Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit. Yeah, I put that name out there at Royal Rumble 2003 against HBK at WrestleMania 21. Let's show some love to TNA, 6 Sides of Steel at Lockdown 2008 against Samoa Joe. I would imagine there's excitement at the idea of getting into the ring with a true wrestling machine. But what about fear? Fear in the sense of this would be a true defining moment for you, your career, as to come up without a victory would be detrimental short-term wise, but I'd only imagine it would feel like an eternity.
Well, you know, let's go ahead and discuss fear real fast. You know, fear is nothing but an insecurity. It's nothing but something that is made up by the mind, something that you tell yourself continuously. And when it comes to Kurt Angle, obviously I don't have any fear. I obviously have no problem addressing the issue. And there's a lot more to me and Kurt Angle than what I've said so far. And in the next couple of weeks, the whole entire world is going to find out what I'm talking about. So, as far as Kurt Angle is concerned, you know, his credentials speak for themselves. I mean, the guy is the best. He is the best. So when you take a guy like Kurt Angle, like I said earlier, and you put him in the ring against right now the hottest star that's coming up, you got to ask yourself the question, what is this? And how can it happen? And when will it happen? And how good will it be? Well, the answer in short, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be life-changing. And that's what I'm all about. And that's why, honestly, I'm making my mark in this business. That's what it boils down to. It's about making your mark. It's about leaving the impression. And right now, that's what I'm getting ready to do. And everyone, and trust me when I say this, everyone's going to be able to witness that.
Okay. Now, just how far, Jamin, are you willing to take this? Would you be willing to put the OVW title on the line?
Oh, you know, I don't think it's about titles personally. I don't think it has anything to do with it, but look, I put my title on the line no matter what. You know, there's a pecking order, there's a ranking system at Ohio Valley Wrestling. One of the guys thought he would be smart. His name was the Body Guy. He challenged me. He go ahead and challenged me, and what ended up happening? He ended up losing. So I don't have a problem putting my championship on the line at any given time. But when it comes to Kurt, I don't think this is about championships. I think this is pure competition, and I think this is something that the people really want to see right now. And I think it's something really good and exciting for this business to actually witness, because we're going to go ahead and make history.
So when, and your name will be in conversations that include Shawn Michaels, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Kurt Angle, etc., no doubt you'll set a high bar for yourself that no one could probably ever touch, at least in this century. Lose, and you have to deal with looking at yourself in the mirror the morning after, going, what's next? Are you really ready for either outcome?
Yes. The answer is yes. There's never been a time when I probably wasn't ready. I know I'm mentally ready at this point. I know I'm physically ready at this point. Right now, I can look at anything in the face and not be afraid to knock it down, and that's the difference between me and other people. That's the reason why I'm the OVW Heavyweight Champion. That's why I am on a list of guys who've been the OVW Heavyweight Champions that are the most successful people in this industry, because that's what I'm a part of. And when I'm a part of that, and when anybody's a part of that, you got something there that the world has yet to really get to witness. And I cannot just tell you right now over this conversation what I'm going to do to Kurt Angle and how I'm going to do it to Kurt Angle. But I will also show you that that's the thing about me too, Lee. I walk and talk at all times. So yes, am I ready? Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I'm laughing at it. I'm almost laughing at it. I think it's almost fun. I'm actually laughing inside right now. That's how funny it is to me. And that's how serious I am.
Okay. All right. I'm curious. Did you watch Kurt Angle's return match TNA against Bobby Roode at last Sunday's BFG?
Yeah, I caught a little glimpse of it. I did catch a little glimpse of it.
I think as far as the mind games go, you might have the edge right now, as you just might be in his head. What do you think?
Oh, I know I'm in Kurt's head. Well, listen, Kurt knows who I am, and he knows all about me. And as I stated earlier, right now it's a situation where only more information will come out in time. But right now it's just not time yet. But I can guarantee you the next week or so it will be time to reveal more information about me and Kurt. And I think it's something that is really going to get everyone's interest. So just stay tuned to that. And as far as Kurt losing his first match back, tough loss. But that's the thing about Kurt Angle that I know. He's not gonna lose, and this is gonna keep him down. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He's a guy that's gonna get right back up, and he's gonna continue to work hard. That doesn't make a difference to me. Here's the thing. I don't underestimate him.
Okay.
You can't underestimate
That's fair
him.
enough.
You can't underestimate anybody. I don't care who you are or what credentials you actually have. It doesn't matter. And that's another thing to always be aware of, Never underestimate anybody. But if you know deep down within yourself that you're going to do something, then you're going to do it. And that's what I think, That's the progressive thinker I am. Because I don't take no for an answer. And if you want to slam the door in my face, as I stated in my interview, I'll knock the door down. And then if you want to try to knock me down when I knock the door down, then chances are you're going to probably end up on the ground too. So it's not a good situation for anybody. But that's what it's all about, man. It's about that competition. It's about that want and that need.
Okay.
And now,
folks, for those of you listening, now we did try to do our best. Contact Kurt Angle through his people and directly on social media about your appearance here tonight, Jamin, and we extended an invitation to him to join us, but as far as we know, it's quietly been declined. So hopefully, we can have a little bit more forthcoming information on that, as you mentioned earlier there. We know we have a few folks and associates in TNA who may be listening to this, and they probably might forward this to Angle, but just in case he's listening right now, is there anything you'd like to say to him? If so, the floor is yours. Take as much time as you like.
Oh, great. Thank you. Well, first off, Kurt, anyone at TNA, you all know who I am and you all know what I'm about. So let's not go ahead and pretend that you don't know me. Let's not go ahead and pretend that you don't hear me right now, because Jamin Olivencia right now is a rising star, and Jamin Olivencia right now is going to go ahead into TNA Impact Wrestling, and he's going to go ahead and make his impact. Why? Because that's who I am, and that's what I do at any given moment. So, Kurt, here's what I got to say to you. Good luck. Because when you're going across for me in the ring and I beat you, then I'm going to go ahead and make my mark, and you're going to go ahead and shake my hand. Because you're going to say, oh, wow, geez, this kid really did do it. This kid really is something special. And that's what we're going and doing right now, Lee. That's what we're creating as we speak. It's one of those things that when you go ahead and set your mind on something and you want to do it, you will do it. And nobody can take it away from you, not TNA, not Kurt Angle, not anybody. No one walks in my path and tells me what to do, okay? It's my world, and everyone else is just in it. So good luck, Kurt, because you're going to need it.
All right. I feel you on that. Let's switch gears up just a little bit. I don't know if you know him, but he's a good friend of ours, Ilya Markopoulos. He had stopped by the show a while back, and he was giving nothing but good praise for OVW. He's been down there for a couple of months now. I wasn't even aware of this, but according to him, OVW is what he feels is one promotion that really isn't getting its true props for its training, talent, great matches. I don't know if maybe this is stemming from when OVW broke away from WWE. I don't know, but you've been in OVW since 2005. What's been your take?
Well, the way it is, man, OVW, the way I look at it, it probably doesn't get its props that it should. But at the same time, even when WWE was there, it wasn't the most known place still. The thing about OVW, the really cool thing is that it's always felt like something different. It's always felt like an underground thing that not many people know about, but also shouldn't know about. That's what makes it so unique, because in OVW, and anybody can tell you this, all the biggest stars can tell you this, in OVW, you're learning a different level of education of this business. You're getting a completely different, look on everything, not only from a performance level, but from a business level, from a political level. You are consistently learning from a production level. There's so many layers of stuff that you can learn at OVW, and not a lot of people realize that until they get to come there and experience it full time. But also that's what it's always kind of been. It's always been that little secret that not many people know about. And right now, believe it or not, is probably the most recognition we've gotten in a long time, especially after when WWE left. Because when WWE left, we for the first year, I want to say, it was 2008. For the first year, we suffered. We kept our audience, but we lost a lot after a year's time. So by 2009, we were taping our weekly television show, and it was just me and the boys, whoever were there at the time, and it was kind of like this ship is sinking. So in 2009 was a rough year. It was actually a time when a lot of people there were thinking of just leaving there because it just didn't seem like anything was happening. But we persevered. A lot of the guys in OVW today that have been with me since 2008 have busted their asses, and now we're getting on another level where success is coming to OVW, and it's coming to the guys that have worked their asses off. So it's a really great time. 2010, we started booming again. Like all of a sudden we were selling out every week, and 2011, school season comes around and it just all of a sudden gets a little lower, but then it builds back up. And right now, fast forward to 2013, we're still going strong, and we're getting more recognition more than ever than we ever had before. We did the IAD network approached us and wanted us on their show. We went on their show and we drew high ratings the first week. So it's a really good opportunity right now to be a part of OVW, and I'm honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I'm proud to be a part of this place. I've always been proud. I've learned everything I need to learn. There's a trainer. I'm sure you've heard of him. You guys know him very well, probably, by the name of Rip Rogers. He's phenomenal. He's the best trainer in the world. He's the best. These were all the greats learned from. They all learned from Rip Rogers, and he's one of those guys that's like the heart and soul of OVW. At least through my eyes. So it's just been a great process, man. It really has.
All right. Awesome. And, honestly, I think it's really badass that OVW is still kicking it, because you just think about some of the alumni from there that's gone on to have great success. John Cena, Brock Lesnar. Who else is an alumni? Shelton Benjamin. I don't care what name.
Everyone, man. Everyone. You look at their roster today. Look at their entire roster. Their entire roster up there is OVW, and with the exception of a few guys. But if you really look at it, look at Santino. He's their most entertaining guy. Mm-hmm. He's one of the most entertaining guys. Where did he come from? OVW. Look at John Cena. He is their franchise. Where did he come from? OVW. CM Punk. Where did he come from? OVW. The list, man, and I'm just naming a few, Batista, Randy Orton, the list goes on, and that's the beauty of it. There's a magic to OVW that I don't think many people are aware of, and maybe you are aware of it, but, it's got something special there, and it always has, and just great. Like I said, there's nothing more exciting than to be a part of something so positive, you know? And that's with anything in life.
Right. Now, I've been catching up on OVW a little bit, and it seems the past couple of weeks, man, you haven't really had time to breathe as a champion. Recently, you defeated James Moose Thomas in a loser leaves OVW to retain your title. And with that, you set the record for longest reigning OVW heavyweight champion. And then on top of Kurt Angle, I see you've also been having your hands filled with Johnny Spade as he's aligned himself with Timmy Danger. You suffered a cheap attack from him last week, like 2 weeks in a row now. It's not easy for you being champion, is it, man?
Oh, hey, you know, like that's the thing, dude. Like when you're on the top, everyone's climbing. You know, you're at the top of the mountain. You look down and you see all these hands climbing. You know, and that's something to expect. You know, and especially Johnny Spade. Like, I mean, this guy has history. He's the only. You know, I'll have to admit this, but he's the only guy I haven't beat yet. You know, when he was champion in OVW a year ago. I wrestled him on 3 occasions and couldn't beat him at the time, you know. And then, you know, it's funny because then and now, and I'm sure nobody minds me saying this in the OVW locker room, but I don't like Johnny Spade. I don't care for him as a human being in the back or anything. So it's always interesting whenever me and this guy have to go at it because, you know, it's just always that tension, you know. There's always that feeling of I don't like you, you don't like me, but we always have something to prove to each other. And I'll say one thing about that guy. That guy's been wrestling for, I believe, 15 years, and he's talented. You know, I don't like him personally. I don't agree with him as a human being, but he's a very talented guy, and right now I think some magic's going to happen between him and I, but you know what's going to end up happening, Lee, is I'm going to end up beating him, and then I'm going to still be looking at Kurt Angle, so you know where that goes.
Yeah, you know, correct me if I'm wrong here, but the last time that you and Danger locked up, Tommy Spade, the last time you guys had locked up, what was that, 2012 in a 30-minute Iron Man match. Now, am I understanding that right? You haven't had his number on 3 occasions, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
I got to compare that to, like, in a championship or something like that. The one that's going to be more hungrier and determined is going to get the W. So if you guys are going to lock up for that title or no title, I think you got him. I know you got him.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Right now I got anybody that you step in front of me, I got them. You know, they tried throwing Rob Terry in front of me, and what ended up happening is I ended up beating Rob Terry and making him look stupid, and everyone was telling me, oh, he's big, you're tiny compared to him. Well, that tiny little thing just beat that big thing. So no, right now is a good time for me. Right now, like I said, is my time. But once again, you know, it was always waiting for the right opportunity. You know, I've been patient for many years. I've been wrestling. I couldn't help but notice I've been wrestling for 15 years. I've been wrestling for 10 years, actually. And for the past 10 years, I've busted my ass. And I've kept quiet. I've kept my mouth shut. Just waiting for the right opportunity. And right now, you know, being OVW heavyweight champion, being on the top of my game on the independent circuit everywhere I go, I realized, wait a second, now's the time. And that's what it was always all about. It's when's the time. And then that time came, I felt it, and now I'm calling it. So, you know, that's where we're at right now.
Okay. I can respect that. Now, I just want to switch it up just a little bit. We mentioned earlier you had the opportunity several weeks back of facing WWE superstar Ryback. And as I said, I remembered that match vividly because I was just in awe of how much of a beating you took from him. What was it like getting in the ring with him?
With who? I'm sorry? You cut out of me.
With Ryback.
Oh, Ryback, it's intense, man. You know, he's a strong dude. He's a big dude. But it was what it was that night. But Ryback he came from OVW, man. You know, he's one of those guys that I trained with, coming in, and I knew how he worked, and it was good, man. You know, I tell you what, he hits hard, man. I'll say that much. He hits hard, so it was blessed. It was fun, man. You know, anytime I'm in a situation like that, I always know that's where I'm supposed to be. You know, it doesn't matter when or what the situation is. I know that's where I'm supposed to be. It felt great. Everyone was very happy. You know, that's what I like to do, man. I like to illuminate everywhere I go.
Looking at WWE's current roster, Jamin, is there anybody else you'd love the opportunity to work with? If so, and why?
You know, CM Punk, man. You know, I just like what he's done. He's, you know, I remember being here with him at OVW, and he was doing great things here. And I always had a respect for Punk, man. He's his own guy, and you know, when people can just be themselves, that's what you ultimately value. You know, he doesn't have to be fake. He doesn't have to. I've always had that respect for him. So no, CM Punk is definitely a guy I would love to go toe to toe with. Daniel Bryan, I mean, Randy Orton, God, John Cena, the you know, that list goes on, man. You know, and here's the thing, Lee, you put me in a situation with any of those guys, and I guarantee you'd probably be one of the greatest things you've ever seen. So, you know, those are all things that you probably will see in the future, too. I have no question about that.
Okay. I'm glad we're here talking tonight, and we're talking wrestling, because I got to get your thoughts on something. It's no secret now that TNA, OVW, they have a pretty great relationship going on. What do you think of some of the wrestling fans who claim they eat, sleep, breathe wrestling, try to support as many promotions as they can, but at the same time they give TNA a bad rep? Now, I'm sure you've come across a few headlines or two. True story, for those of you that don't know this. I was watching a few of my colleagues bury TNA's 9th annual Bound for Glory pay-per-view, not even laying eyes on the product, barely talking about the card, and for almost 20 minutes put down the product and the management. Jamin, I couldn't help but say, okay, so much for bypassing constructive criticism. I'm saying to myself, how is this healthy for the industry overall? I would imagine talk like that has to be a little nerve-wracking for you at times.
No, you know, it doesn't, man. You know, I don't pay attention to negativity. It's just the type of human being I am. Whenever it comes in my life, I just ignore it. You know, people hate on me all the time, man. You know, it's like, whatever, okay, good. I guess that's probably your problem, not mine, right? You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, whatever. You know, TNA is in a unique situation right now. You know, it was funny because someone brought this up to me, too, about the pay-per-view, and how they, you know, were suffering a little bit. But, you know, the way I look at it, man, is it's an opportunity to grow. You know, it's an opportunity for TNA. It's a good kick in the balls for them. They can wake up, and then they can start looking at what else they have out there. What else can we do? And that's where they still haven't scratched the surface yet. You know, they haven't brought in a guy like me yet. They haven't brought in people from OVW. They haven't brought in people from Japan yet. Or, you know, there's people. There's a lot of talent out there that are just not there. And I'm not blaming that on their talent up there by no means. But the thing is, you got to say to yourself at some point, okay, what can we do different? And what can we bring in different? And right now, honestly, Lee, that's where I come into play. So you know, people look at it as a situation of suffering. I look at it as a situation to grow, to really be able to touch something and help it out. And that's where I come in.
Good words right there. I think you hit it spot on right there. Spot on. Anybody that can't appreciate what you just said there, I don't know what to tell them. Go jump on a pogo stick or something. That's all I can say.
Yeah, you jump on the pogo stick and hopefully it doesn't go up your ass. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the reality, man. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be able to take life situations and not hate on everything so much, including yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you get rid of the hatred, because when you do that, it's only going to be worse. You know, it's just a situation where, well, once again, it's just an opportunity to grow, man. Just like anything, and it pumps me up knowing that. It pumps me up knowing that they're hurting. It's like, okay, good, you know, because now when I open the door, we're going to start making shit happen. I don't know if I'm supposed to swear, but but that's just the way. That's how you got to look at it, man. You got to look at it with confidence. You got to look at it with a smile on your face, and not buy into the crap that's out there. Because there is crap out there, man. There is. So why buy into it? It's crap. Don't buy into it.
Right. I can respect that. I can respect that a lot. I see you guys got 2 big events that's going to be coming up. Can you tell the folks a little bit about it? I see you got, looks like the Saturday night special on November 2nd, and then you got OVW Old School on November 3rd.
Yeah, OVW Old School is really cool, man. Danny Davis, Frank Miller, Trailer Park Trash is his name. These guys got something kind of unique going on with the Old School thing. I personally haven't had the chance to check it out yet, but it's just it's like they do like 80s, like typical like 80s styles wrestling, and as far as the gimmicks are concerned and the way the matches are presented, the way the whole show's presented. It's a very 80s style, and I think it's just kind of outside the box. It's kind of neat. Haven't had the chance to check it out, but the Saturday Night Special, that's their big event once a month. All of our television tapings build to the Saturday Night Special. So those nights are always, well, no pun intended, but they're always special. They're always very highly energetic, and it's something really cool for our fans to always get to experience.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to check that out. What would you say to some of our listeners that's hearing you for the first time? They aren't that familiar with the OVW product. What would you say to them to get them to check it out, come on board? Because honestly, and I don't want you guys to just take my word for it, but I really think from what I've been seeing, OVW, man, it's top-notch excellent. I really enjoy all the work that you guys do over there.
Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Anytime any compliment is thrown our way, it's very appreciated because, once again, everyone there really, really busts their ass. Everyone works very hard. So, I always like to really emphasize that because, a lot of these guys here have made a lot of sacrifices to make this stuff work, and now for a few of us, it's a job. It's a full-time job, and it's what the heck. When you're doing that, you're doing something at least right. You know what I mean? So what I'd say to the first-time listeners, whoever check out OVW, I'd say just keep your eyes open and check it out. Like, try not to judge it. Just really check it out. Really give yourself some time to look at what we sell and understand that it's something actually really good. And I think I don't have to tell you that in words. You know what I mean? You just have to see it. So. Go check it out. Go OVWrestling.com, check it out, and keep up with our guys on Twitter. Keep up with me on Twitter, Jamin Olivencia, Olivencia, and become a part of it, man. Become a part of the family because it's something really special.
All right, awesome. Any other upcoming events, appearances, autograph signings that you got coming up where folks can try to catch you?
I'm talking to some people from Germany right now and England, so I don't have any specific dates set yet and specific promotions, but just like I said, keep up with me, and you'll be seeing a lot of cool stuff coming from me real soon.
All right, awesome. Well, hey, man, we really appreciate you taking the time out to do this here with us tonight. And as we tell all our guests, and they actually take us up on this, anytime you want to come on back, you're more than welcome, whether it's to plug an event or you just want to talk about some random stuff, you're more than welcome to come on back. We'd love to have you back, and let's definitely stay in contact. And, we really do appreciate you taking the time to do this. It means a lot.
Oh, Lee, no, appreciate you guys having me. It's wonderful to be a part of something cool. You guys are. I listened to a few of your podcasts and stuff, man, and your radio shows, and they're freaking awesome. They're fun. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. Don't ever let anybody tell you guys can't do anything because they're full of crap. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and reach for the stars, man. And anybody that's listening to my voice right now who doesn't know me, I would advise you to always just go with your heart in anything you do in life, because when you do that, you'll start finding that life presents to you all the resources you need. So.
Good positive words right there. Jamin, thank you so much, man. You have a good night and enjoy the rest of the week.
Yeah, Lee. Heck yeah. Thanks for having me.
And now,